decided what I'm going to call my channel yet, but you're watching it. Thank you for watching. Today I'm going to be reading you a book from a book, and the book is World of Warcraft Chronicle, Volume 2, and I've decided to read you Chapter 4, The First War, because I'm quite the alpha male, as you might be able to tell, and I've decided to read to you about war, because I'm a man, and that's what men do. I don't actually know how loud this is going to be, but I think I might speak like this. Definitely has the potential to be excruciatingly irritating, but also a little bit sexual, a little bit like maybe a less refined Snape from Harry Potter, because I always found ASMR a little stimulating to my nether regions, if I'm being honest. The first time I listened, I popped a raging erection almost immediately, but now, since then, it has kind of dulled. I can't feel the same amount of palpable sexual tension in the air when I listen to autonomous sensory meridian response. I think that's what it's called. Just off the top of my head. Okay. I'm going to start reading now. I don't know what type of cadence I will be reading in, but I guess we'll find out. Chapter 4, The First War. The corruption of Medivh was set into motion long before he was born. Thousands of years ago, a secretive order called the Council of Tirisfal began watching over Azeroth, protecting it from intrusions by the Burning Legion's agents. The Magi, up to you choose. I think I'm going to go with Magi. I've changed my mind. I'm going to go with Magi. The Magi in this group channeled their powers into one member, who was known as the Guardian. This mighty individual single-handedly scoured the world for any sign of demonic activity. While Sargeras was searching for a mortal on Azeroth, whom he could use to initiate the Legion's next invasion. Oh, it appears I've lost my place. Oh, there it is. His attention turned to the current Guardian. Oh, let me just get a little more comfortable in my seat. Put on a nice collared shirt for the ASMR video, Steve. And, oh, that's my name. I might bleep that out. I won't bleep it out. I like to keep it raw, keep it primal, keep it true, keep it honest. A little bit of a double entendre. A man with a mask likes to be honest. I think that's what double entendre means. I'm not very educated, excuse me. Her name was Egwene, and she was one of the greatest magi who had ever lived. She was also proud and bold, two traits that Sargeras knew would make her ideal for corruption. Sargeras infused a sliver of his vast power into a physical avatar, and then he opened a temporary gateway through which this vessel could reach Azeroth. In an icy region called Northrend, the fallen Titan confronted Egwene. Just as Sargeras had hoped, the Guardian expended her strength to vanquish the Avatar, leaving herself vulnerable. The Legion's Lord took this opportunity to transfer a portion of his spirit to the mage's soul. Unbeknownst to Aegwyn, Sargeras subtly darkened her thoughts. Though the strong-willed mage proved to be too powerful to fully corrupt, the Legion's ruler managed to turn her against her allies in the Council of Tirisfal. The Order's members had always considered themselves as the Guardian's handlers, and they expected the mage to obey their commands and follow their advice. Yet Aegwyn did neither. As time passed, she grew disillusioned with the Council and its motives. Recently, the Order had begun meddling in the politics of human kingdoms, which made the Guardian just a wee bit suspicious. When the time came for Aegwyn to relinquish her powers so another could take her place, she refused. The Council initially considered appointing a new Guardian, but the idea was abandoned for the fear that the presence of two extremely powerful magi, could draw unwanted attention to the secret order. A different approach would be taken. The Council formed an order of mage hunters called the Tirisgard to apprehend Aegwyn. Oh dear, to me that sounds like a little bit of an error. But we will see what they decide. What happens, I guess. I'm just gonna stroke the microphone real quick. I've got a guard on. I think it's too sensitive to pick up. What about if I slide off the cover? Oh. Oh dear. My apologies if you heard any very graphic sounds there. I think it should all be perhaps my voice is a little bit I guess we'll keep on reading. Just a little bit of an experimentation. The Council, I already read that. One of these individuals was a human named Nialis Aran. He too came to loathe the Council's political schemes. Rather than fight Aegwyn, he became her closest confidant. There's a little caveat in here. I think, yes, we'll read that. The Tomb of Sargeras. After vanquishing Sargeras' avatar, Guardian Aegwyn sought a place to bury the body so that its dark magic would not disturb the world. She settled on the sunken ruins of an ancient night elven temple, which some legends say was built upon an even older structure of mysterious origins. Why did I do the thing where they go, "You're watching an ASMR"? See, to me that sound is quite loud, but I don't think it's really... I don't think that's really going to show up for the the loyal home viewer. This site housed powerful seals that negated nearby fell energy. Aegwyn added her own magic, reinforcing the structure and creating defensive measures to keep intruders out. In time, this place would become known as the Tomb of Sargeras. Sargeras. You can see in my eyes that I have not slept for one whole millennia, for they are darkened, not unlike my very soul, and not unlike Aegwyn's soul. Aegwyn decided to bear a child with Neelis. She would bequeath her guardian powers to this child, who would free from the council's control. For the first time in history, sorry, something happened over yonder and I was momentarily distracted from our gripping narrative. For the first time in Azeroth's history, the world's garden would be beholden to no one. When Aegwyn gave birth to Medivh, she had no idea of the darkness she had passed to him. Sargeras had possessed Medivh while he was still forming in his mother's womb. For years, the Legion's ruler would hide in the shadow of Medivh's soul. Medivh blossomed into a promising mage. He grew up in the capital of Stormwind, becoming friends with Prince Lane Rin and the knight in training, Anduin Lothar. Neelis had taken on the position of the kingdom's official court conjurer. I'm very bad at retaining my place within the text, and for that I apologize. It must be, if you're listening to this for the story, and not for the definitive collection of tingles that are, I wanted to say exploding, but that's too violent, pulsing from my mouth, profiteering from my, don't like that either. Explume? Is explume a word? They're expluming from, no. I want the word where a plant expunging from my mouth, no, when it unleashes its toxin, spewing, silting through the air. That is the word I wish to use. Never mind. Permeating. Let my words permeate your mind. And he tutored his son in the ways of the arcane. Aegwyn, however, was not present. Someone just opened the door downstairs despite my excruciatingly strict instructions not to pass that door, not to open that door. It's very loud. I don't know if I will edit it out. I probably won't, because like I said, I'm a man of distinct truth, distinct righteous transparency. They've just done it again. Hello, Nicholas.
Oh, I didn't even know this is.
That's understandable. Did you talk to either mother or father downstairs?
No.
Did you see either of them?
Yeah.
And neither of them said a word to you?
No, Dad was on the phone.
Motherfuckers. Nicholas, I'm making an ASMR video.
What's that?
I'm making an ASMR video.
Right?
Yes. Okay. Do you know what that is?
I do.
Yes. I don't know how it's going. Okay. Goodbye, my brother. Awen, however, was not present. Centuries of acting as the Guardian had taken their toll on her. Now that her powers had passed on to Medivh, she was overcome with exhaustion. She retreated from the world to rest, but the gifted mage kept watch over her son from afar. On the eve of Medivh's 14th birthday, his dormant guardian powers awakened, and he accidentally killed Nihilus. Nihilus? I'm going to go with Nihilus. The trauma sent the boy into a coma that would last years. He killed his own father. They didn't tell you that in the movie, did they? Maybe they referenced it. But in the movie they also seemed like Medivh got infected by the Fel from a Fel-brushed encounter, I recall. I think. Let's be honest, the movie was... The movie was hot shit. The movie was brown water trash. Very high production value though, I did appreciate. I did like watching it. My ex-girlfriends came with me, and what an angel sitting through that with absolutely no interest in it. Very nice of her. She's probably looking at me right now, quite glad that that relationship was terminated. I was just saying the other day that I bet people my mother is friends with on Facebook that had children that I used to fraternize with, I bet they're on Facebook looking at my mother's pictures, some of which had me in them, and go, well, at least you didn't turn out like Stephen. But I'm free. Free from the constraints of what a conservative haircut, what a conservative lifestyle. Maybe no gods, no masters. He says from the safety of his parents' home. Right in the middle of suburbia. No gods, no masters. While Medivh was in a coma, there it is, there's the center. Azeroth enjoyed a time of relative peace. However, that did not mean that the world was safe. Conflict was a daily occurrence. Tribes battled with tribes, villages squabbled with villages, and kingdoms spied on kingdoms. Yet by large, Azeroth's inhabitants were prosperous. In the eastern kingdoms, humans engaged in rigorous trade with dwarves, gnomes, and high elves, Some nations, like Lordaeron, acted as regional leaders and trendsetters. They mediated disagreements between smaller kingdoms and used their strong militaries to impose order over the lands. Yes, a strong military, always very good for being a peacekeeper. Always do the right thing, never act in their best interest, always act in the objective best interest of humanity. And I suppose in this the world. Did I finish on a word? Others. Like Dalaran. I should do some page turning sounds, shouldn't I? This book has such deliciously crisp pages. Crispy. Made extraordinary advances, Dalaran, that is, made extraordinary advances in the study of arcane arts and other academic fields. Still others focused their resources on defending themselves from old rivals. The elves of Quel'Thalas spent much of their time fending off encroachments from the Amani, trolls. In Kalimdor, the Night Elves continued their ancient traditions. Druids explored the Emerald Dream, a realm of wonder and power that guided the natural life of the physical world. For the most part, the Night Elves kept their attention focused outwards, to the cosmos, ever vigilant for the burning legion. The Night Elves still remembered the War of the Ancients, that dark time in history when demons invaded the world and nearly destroyed it. Many Night Elves believed that the Legion would eventually come back. They expected the demon's return to be dramatic, apocalyptic, heralded with fire and brimstone from the skies. None suspected that a mortal race from another world, a dying world, would soon attempt and seek to conquer Azeroth. And no one suspected that Medivh, a man born to protect Azeroth, would make it all possible. Almost 10 years after slipping into his coma, he finally awoke. In the days that followed, Medivh reunited with his old friends. Lane Rin was poised to become a king of Stormwind. Oh, by the way, guys, I'm just going to fall into a coma for 10 years. Oh, hey guys, I'm back from my 10-year coma. I'm glad we're all still friends. Everything's still relevant between us. Anduin Lothar had risen in the ranks and was a highly regarded knight and military commander. They were both happy to see that Medivh had recovered from his strange illness where he murdered his father. But they were preoccupied by new troubles brewing in the south. Over the years, Stormwind's farmers and settlers had been pushing south, claiming more and more territory near the jungles of Stranglethorn Vale. They had brought them into conflict with the Guru Bashi tribes. Blood had been spilt, and the conflict had escalated from small skirmishes to frequent raids by troll warbands. Lane's father, Barathon, the elderly king of Stormwind, dispatched his forces in a defensive manner, commanding his soldiers to intercept raiding parties, but forbidding retaliatory strikes into Gurubashi land. He had no interest in a full-scale war with the trolls. His son advocated for a sterner posture. Lane wanted to teach the trolls a lesson, even if that meant invading Gurubashi territory. The private debates between king and prince grew heated. For months, Medivh took no part in Stormwind's politics. Since waking up, he had struggled to deal with his guilt over his father's death, an event he still did not truly understand. Unsettling dreams were also plaguing him. Sometimes he dreamt of a woman who urged him to travel to a place called Karazhan. Other times he dreamt of a dark presence dwelling in his mind, twisting his thoughts. He decided to ignore these dreams. Medivh felt more at peace when he was with his friends, so he focused his attention on helping them. He joined their efforts in dealing with the Gurubashi. Oh, that was a little loud. Let me know if you enjoyed this video, if there were things you did not like I suppose my general presence may be quite unnerving, but you never know. People might find that soothing to the mind. But you might also hate it. But also just technical tips like the sound. I mean, I will be listening to this. I've got a small indicator to the level of volume. I think it's all in one ear, so I might have to mix that in post-production. Anyway, thank you for listening and watching this video on your computer, telephone. I don't know where you might be watching this from, but thank you. And I hope you all have a beautiful new year. A beautiful 2018. I won't be. I will be getting fired from my job for this fucking haircut. Thank you. Goodbye. Gay little tingles ASMR. Where's that fucking button to turn this shit off?